Good morning, football fans. What is going on? We are headed into a spooky week of NFL football for week number 8. This is Fourth and Funny, and I'm your host, Jake Mattis. Let's get into the 4 downs, the 4 topics that I have found interesting and have takes on for this week heading into week 8. Are you guys ready? Buckle up that chin strap and let's dive in. First down, let's get into it. Aaron Rodgers, now a Pittsburgh Steeler, will be taking on the Green Bay Packers. This game is going to be the marquee early game for those interested. It's storied. Rodgers has a lot of history and storied past with the Green Bay Packers, though he did come out this week and say that one day his legacy will end in Green Bay. I'm interested to see how that plays out and how his take is on that. On the other side of the coin, we now have Aaron Rodgers 2.0, though I don't quite think he's at the level. A copy of a copy of a copy. They tend to get worse when we go from Brett Favre to Rodgers, now we're to Love. So maybe that pool is diminishing a little bit, but who knows? Time will tell. He still has time to write his story, and he can go up against the old master. This is the Jedi taking on his Jedi master, who he sat behind there in Green Bay. This is going to be a fun one. I'll probably tune into this since there is no Lions this week, which we'll get to that later on in the pod. But yeah, Steelers hosting the Green Bay Packers. It would be a little different if Rodgers was going to Green Bay. I think there would be more emotion tied to this game, but the Steelers get them at home in their house. It's Aaron's opportunity to continue his strong performance early on in the season against his old mates, and we'll see if he can do that when we get to the picks later on. Second down, guys. Second down. Here we go. The Jets. JT, what the hell? What is going on with Aaron Glenn out there in New York? Those Jets have been grounded. They are still winless. They have now benched Justin Fields. I don't know, as of the recording of this podcast, that I've heard a starter announced for the Jets, but it's not like I'm intensely following the Jets situation, other than Aaron Glenn is really struggling out there. And as hot as his seat is getting, those capris may have to turn into shorts. I understand that Dan Campbell lost like the first 6 games or so, but at least there was a core foundation to that team. I don't know where you can look to on the Jets for any type of stability or strength to build around. The quarterback position is still very much up in the air. Justin Fields not doing the job, can't stay healthy. Availability is an ability, so you need to stay healthy to stay on the field. Tyrod Taylor has been a journeyman, and he seems to be banged up, I believe, with an ankle injury in this game. So I don't know who they're further down the depth chart, who they have to roll into the game. But Garrett Wilson seems to think that he wants to stay there. He loves being a Jet. That may be the one piece that you could build around. Still have time. Don't Megatron this guy and waste his career. Watch out for Breece Hall to be on the trade block. There may be a team needing a running back, as there are some beat up and banged up teams around the league. But the Jets, man, You can't even call that a plane crash because they haven't even gotten off the ground. Someone forgot to put fuel in the tank or something. But let's see what the Jets can do. We're 8 weeks in and no sign of life yet. Let's see what happens. All right. Third down, guys. Let's keep this train rolling. Third down. This is the hurry up offense today. We're running a hurry up offense. KC3. Can Kansas City go for 3 straight wins? We had Chris Jones on the sideline drinking allegedly what appears to be vodka as they handled last week's opponent. No problem. I believe the score was 31-0 if memory serves me correct. So, can Kansas City keep this going? Is Kansas City just one of those slow rollers because they've started to age a little bit? They need to take a little bit of time and rhythm. They've had some pieces in and out. They've made some adjustments. But here we are, week 8, moving into the middle half of the season. And are they starting to hit that stride and really pick up the pace? Will they be there? That division, I still have strong hopes for the Chargers and the Broncos to challenge for that division. We'll see what these head-to-head matchups bring. But yeah, I think that the Raiders have played themselves out of the running for that division. It is now a 3-horse race, no pun intended, with the Broncos. A 3-horse race in that division still. And who knows, lightning may just strike. But Kansas City's on a roll. They handled Detroit. They handled, I believe it was the Raiders last week. And they have Washington on Monday night this week. I think they'll be able to get that 3. They may have not won 3 Super Bowls in a row, but they'll win these 3 games in a row. Spoiler on my pick for that game. Like I said, here we go. We're into the hurry up offense. We're down into 4th down territory, guys, and we are going for it. This week we have a big packed bye week. We got a 6-pack of teams on the bye week. The Arizona Cardinals, the Detroit Lions, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the LA Rams, Las Vegas Raiders, and Seattle Seahawks, all taking the week off. Some of these teams are catching the bye at the right time. Arizona needs to get Kyler Murray right. He's been banged up, missed last week, though Brissett didn't look terrible. But still, it's nice to have your starting quarterback back under center after a bye week. Get that extra little bit of rest. And then you got the Lions taking a much-needed week off. They are resting up after a dominant performance on Monday Night Football. That was fun, taking down the better Baker Buccaneers. Jacksonville there as well, taking a week off. They need to rest up. This comes at a perfect time for them, middle of the season. Cooper Kupp has been out for the Rams last week. This bye week may give him a chance to get better, see how that develops over their bye week. Hopefully he will return for that stretch run for the NFC West and see if they can get Matt Stafford into contention for another Super Bowl and cement his legacy as a Hall of Fame quarterback. And yes, I said that as a Detroit Lion. The Las Vegas Raiders, they could take 2 weeks off and probably still not be okay. They're a mess out there. I don't know what Tom Brady and team has going on behind the scenes, but that is a sinking ship very, very quickly. And when your star new toy running back comes out and says it's been a losing mentality around there for a while, you might want to think about changing the culture all the way around. And then the Seattle Seahawks, they are on a bye as well. So 12th man, sit back, enjoy, and watch some football. Now, let's get into the meat of the show, the picks. Let's dive into it, guys. Hey, listen, last week I was 9-1 in the 10 games that we picked. Overall for the season, I am 50-28. Not too bad. Not too bad. So, let's dive into these games. We're going to hit some a little deeper than others. We're still operating under the hurry-up offense, guys. Okay, so we've got Miami and Atlanta. It looks like Kirk Cousins is going to start this game. I think this spells trouble for Miami and Mike McDaniels, who made the quarterback switch last week, knowing he has to start pushing all the buttons and pulling all the levers if he wants to save his job. Kirk Cousins, I think, comes in well-rested, ready to show that he's not done with football, and Atlanta gets this win. We've got Chicago taking on Baltimore. Lamar Jackson seems to be missing his third straight game, even after last week's bye week for them. Give me Chicago to take out Baltimore. I think this is a down year, and Baltimore is really going to have to transition. They are missing a very, very important key cog to that offense in an MVP in Lamar Jackson. Give me the Bears. The Jets taking on Cincinnati with Joe Flacco under center. Let's see how many touchdowns Jamar Chase has this week. 2, 3, maybe go for one more and go for 4. I don't know. But they're playing the Jets. Terrible defense, terrible offense. This one's going to be not fun to watch, but Cincinnati's going to put it on the Jets. Give me Cincinnati. Buffalo coming off their bye week, taking on the Carolina Panthers. I like Josh Allen to right his ship and get the Buffalo team back in the win column. Give me Josh Allen and the Bills in this one. We've got the Niners taking on Houston. Return of the Mac has got that team humming. They're sitting atop the NFC West, looking there with Seattle and the Rams, seeing who can shake out that tough division. Houston, no Nico Collins this week. Give me the Niners to take out Houston. Then we've got Cleveland taking on the Patriots. The Patriots are looking good and may actually challenge Buffalo for that division if Buffalo can't get their ship righted and Josh Allen continues to struggle as he has the past few games. Their defense hasn't been that great either. They've played some mediocre teams and gave up too many points. That's how you lose games, guys. Spoiler alert. Give me the Pats to take out Cleveland with their struggling quarterback question. They will score just enough points on that Cleveland defense to win the game. Then we've got the G-Men taking on Philly. The G-Men stunned Philly and beat them earlier this year. Now, with Jackson Dart and Cam Scattaboo and company, can they take out Philly and sweep them for the first time since, I think the early 2000s? Maybe 2007 might have been the number I heard floated around this week. Give me Philadelphia in this game. I am a smart man. I know after last week, listening to Jalen Hurts walk in the locker room and say, we ain't losing no more. You're going to lose, but not this game, not this week. This holds true. Give me Philadelphia to win this game. And then we've got Tampa Bay taking on New Orleans. Baker needs to shake it off. He will shimmy, shake, throw the ball to what receivers he has left and will himself to a win over New Orleans in that divisional game. Tampa Bay lost on Monday night to the Lions, though I don't think that that's going to hurt their divisional chances to win that division this year. Tennessee taking on Indy, another division game. This one, again, will not have too many division implications, as the Colts are kind of starting to really separate themselves from the field and look like legit deep playoff contenders. I'm not willing to say Super Bowl contender, but do they look like they could make some noise? Maybe even grab a home playoff game in the second round, get one of the first or second seed in the NFC? I do. I think they're that talented to grab one of those seeds. Do I think that I am confident enough to call them a Super Bowl contender? Not yet. All right, give me Indy in that game if I didn't make that clear. And what is a cowboy without his horse? Cowboys and Broncos, here we go. This one's going to be, I don't know, interesting. We got Bo Nix. He's got up and down games. Some weeks he looks great. Some weeks he still looks a little shaky. We've got MVP chance for Dak Prescott, which I'm calling foul on those. I'll throw a flag. Whatever. I don't think he's an MVP candidate, though I feel like he is playing some decent ball this year. This one's a tough one for me. It's kind of a pick'em game, and I hate the Cowboys, so give me Denver in this game. Then we talked about Green Bay traveling to Pittsburgh to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. This game is Sunday Night Football. It's got headlines written all over it. Tirico and Collinsworth and the boys, they're going to be bringing up all this stuff. I can't wait to see how many different highlights they show of Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay and the whole story. I mean, it's going to be TV drama. If you don't like Aaron Rodgers, I suggest waiting until exactly kickoff for this game. I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to show that he is the Jedi Master and still can play football and sling it with the best of them, even though, as reckless as some think it is, whatever those smelling salts are, dude, he's got the touch. Give me Pittsburgh in this game. And for the final game of the week, we got Washington and Kansas City. I told you earlier, Kansas City is going to get 3 in a row, just not Super Bowls, 3 games in a row. Give me Kansas City on Monday Night Football to take the game. All right, guys, that's been the picks. Those have been the 4 topics. Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. What's up with the Jets? KC maybe 3? And 6 teams on the bye this week. That's the most so far. See how it shakes out, guys. Sit down, enjoy the games, and I'll catch you next week.